Welcome to CURES, where we explore the leading edge of wellness. So why do we get cravings for specific comfort foods? In today's CURES, Cindy Dale is a master energy healer, and she explains what really causes emotional eating and how to balance your energy system to maybe lose weight for good. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I know the pandemic has been all about snacking for many of us, hasn't it been?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's certainly been a time where we're kind of more in touch with our body. But to our viewers who maybe are new to energy medicine, you're a master healer and actually teach energy healing to students. So what exactly is it? Why does the energy even matter?
So everything's made out of energy. Energy is just information that moves, a thought, a feeling. Muffin, your body is made out of energy. But what's interesting about energy, and Einstein said this too, most energy is what these days we call subtle. It's invisible. Less than 1%, for instance, of your body is physical energy. So a lot of our decision making is done out of energies, feelings, and beliefs that we really can't see and are really hard to grasp.
It's interesting to think that we would think we're so much more physical, but only 1%. Interesting. Yeah, so Oprah might have been the first to maybe mainstream the idea. She used to always say, we're all energy. But how does it really affect our weight?
So, for instance, I think many of us have had that experience of we just watched the news or we read a scary book or went to a scary movie and all of a sudden we're munching because we absorb emotions from outside of ourselves. These days, I think a lot of us find ourselves really anxious, but actually anxiety and depression are really sky high right now. A lot of that is maybe not even our own, set of feelings. We're absorbing from what's going on in the world. And we are trained since childhood. What do we do when we don't feel comfortable? We go for comfort food. It gives us that sort of like, everything's okay for maybe 1 minute.
Right. And we all know that. We know that, we eat this and it makes us feel good. But you kind of take it a step deeper in your book, Chakras, Foods, and You. And you talk about specific cravings and actually where they're manifesting in the body. So here's a cover of the book. And here's a little bit where you're going to find it. Let's just start with the root chakra. And that's the base of our spine, for those who've never heard that term, although I think a lot of people in taking yoga classes now know. But what's kind of going on? We might be craving ice cream, cheese, alcohol, French fries, or large amounts of anything if there's an imbalance there?
Exactly. So I've been writing books about chakras for almost 30 years now. And what I see in my practice, and it keeps proving itself over and over, is that each of us tends to have a major chakra. So chakras are energy bodies. They're managing that 99.999% of us, right? And then when we're stressed, when something's going on, based on our major chakra, like the one that we really operate from most of the time, we're going to have a different set of cravings. Each chakra is connected to a different endocrine gland. Science is showing that we have to feed endocrine glands differently. So that first chakra, if you're a real physical person and you come from that first chakra in the root, you're going to go for ice cream, you're going to go for meat, you're going to go for certain foods. Versus if you're a second chakra person, that's in the abdomen, and that's the muffin person. That's your creative, emotional person.
So if you have a muffin top, it's the second chakra?
You're the second chakra person, or pie, or cake, okay. Or, those really fun foods. So let's say you're like a wine craving, give me the chocolate, give me the wine, let me kick back. That would be a heart-based person. That's fourth chakra. That's in the heart. You're a relational sort of person. And you think about wine and chocolate, maybe even smoking or whatever it might be. I mean, that kind of explains what provides you comfort. Is that which gives you that feeling of, romance or being with somebody or whatever it is. So each chakra, it's really interesting to approach these cravings to go, what do I want based on my chakra? Because when you figure out, sort of the less healthy foods, I don't care if you have a little bit of it. Doesn't make any difference to me. You can also make healthier food choices too.
Yeah. Well, and I like that, it's fun to look at this, and the graphics sort of show what it is. And I know in the book you get more in depth. I guess if I were to be any of these, I think I would be the sixth: purple, anything beautiful, sundaes, cakes, fine dining, chocolates. Like I would be happy with any of those things. But the good thing is you also offer some healthier alternatives. So if rather than eating a lot of chocolate, even if it's dark, you would say maybe have eggs, nuts, seeds, beans, kale chips. I got to be honest, it doesn't sound as exciting.
No, but you know what you can do as a sixth chakra visualizer? You're aesthetic, you're visual, you love beauty. Put what you're going to eat on a pretty plate. Somebody like me, I'm first chakra. I don't care. I'll eat it standing up, on the go. I don't care. I don't even need the food to look appetizing. That's like my personality.
Okay.
So I just have to make good choices, but you need to have pretty food. So play with your setting, make it look pretty, or dress up when you're going to eat, and you'll at least feel good while you're eating.
Okay, that makes sense. I usually would do it the way you just said, where I'm eating standing up, but that's probably not the best way. So, it's fun to look at this, but this is also something you teach. You've had 30 years of experience doing this, and it really does affect our health, right? So when we're talking about maybe you just put on 15 pounds and you thought, I didn't even do anything that differently. What's going on from an energy basis with the world right now?
Well, I think what we really are doing energetically, we're absorbing everybody else's stressors. We're picking up on what's happening with the climate. We're picking up all those question marks that are in the world. And we personally don't have a plan. We don't know what we're supposed to do. We don't know what we're, to do. So you can take this out of diet as well. So let's say I'm a first chakra person. I figured that out. I'm a doer. I'm really physical. I'm going to reduce my stress. I'm automatically going to make better life choices, whether they be about food, whether they be about when to go to bed, whether they be about what people to hang out with. If I know that based on my personality, I have to just do. So I've gone myself through the last 2 years. I don't sit around and think about things because I'm a physical first chakra person. I just get something done. If you're more like a thinker person, that's third chakra, that's solar plexus, that's a very structured, analytical, mental person. You're not going to even make a move until you sit down and put your calendar together. So I think it's always good to know who we are. Apollo, the Apollonian philosophy from thousands of years ago was know thyself. So chakras are one way to figure out who you are. And when the world is a mess, which it is, maybe your house is a mess too. I mean, whatever's going on, right? Your life is in a mess. Pull back, use whatever means you can to say, now, who am I? What does that mean about what actions or non-actions I could be taking, choices I can make, and you can even use a system like this. I would say loosely use a system, any system, to make some decisions about what's best for who you are. What job might suit you the best? What style do you want to show up in the world, kind of with? So I think this is a great opportunity in the middle of chaos. It's time to get creative. So if you figure out your energy signature, then you can pull back, separate out from what everybody else is going through and just say, here I am. What does that mean for what I'm going to be and what I'm going to do?
Mm-hmm. And you even have, what you talk about in the book, which would make it a lot easier, is how to stop the cravings in the first place. So we're more balanced. If we're having tons of cravings, does that mean we're just imbalanced?
Yeah, it means we're imbalanced. It means that we're out of sync, and that might be mentally, it could be physically, it could be spiritually. And so make some different choices. So in the book, I also speak to, what does it mean based on who you are, what your main chakra is? What's the best way maybe for you to exercise or meditate or get some sleep or grocery shop or what? I even talk about what's your intuitive style. How do you read the world? Because we all read the world a little different. We all pick up signs about what's going on and figure out what to do with that. So there's a lot of fun, I think, in figuring out, for instance, first chakra person, I read physical signs. I can literally feel what's happening in somebody else's physical body in my own. Not so good if I'm going to the doctor to fix my knee and it's not my knee problem, right?
Yeah, right.
So So how do I pull back with that one? How do I set up my diet, but also how do I know who I am? A visualizer, you're somebody who can kind of gauge what's happening with other people, maybe by how you see what's happening on their face, maybe by how they're dressed. But you also have a really interesting intuitive gift. Typically in my field, the energy field, we call it clairvoyance, of being able to get images and pictures. So it's a real full concerted approach to gaining insight about who we are. Food-wise, figure out what are the best foods for you and make sure you've stocked your larder with those. Heart-based person, Mediterranean diet, you can have some pasta. If you're a heart-based person, put some tomato sauce on it. That might keep you from going for the wine or the chocolate too.
Right, so there's so much confusion out there in the world about don't eat gluten or don't eat that or low carb, this, that. So what you're saying is from an energy perspective, from the world that you work in, it can all make sense. It just depends on you and what's best for you. And that's how we can get personalized, because some of us said, oh, I tried that, it didn't work for me.
Exactly. And I know so many diets that are out there, paleo, intermittent fasting, Bible Genesis diet. I mean, it's really overwhelming. I last like a day on anything that I try. I mean, I grew up in the grapefruit diet, fad, maybe half a day or something like that. It's not even healthy. So it is like, it's about getting to know who you are and making those choices and setting up your right structure. For instance, that third chakra thinker, that solar plexus, that really lands you in the pancreas. A lot of science talks about how to stoke the pancreas the healthiest way. So the pancreas people, if you would, who are very organized people, that's a fantastic thing to be. I'm not that person. Mini meals, lots of little mini meals, like mix a healthy carb, healthy fat, healthy protein. That would be great.
Protein. Hey, I'm helping my son study for his 7th grade science, so I now know, I remember all about protons.
You know what those
now.
are. Yeah. Protons, photons, phonons.
Right.
We could get the physics going here too. So keep around you, kind of what it is you need, and even choose snacks. They're going to make sense for who you are. Like 5th chakra people have it sort of tough. They're in the throat, they're the communicator, they're linked to the thyroid, which is a very high mineral, sort of craving kind of a gland. And when you're a communicator, I have some of these tendencies. You're a little bit like open mouth, insert food, right? When you're stressed. So that's the person that's going to need to keep the carrot sticks, the celery, the high mineral foods, and make sure that you're taking care of yourself, like in advance of, oh, I'm sort of bored. So what am I going to eat? Twinkies, they last like 40,000 years, so they'll last forever, but that's not the best food choice for anybody.
And
much
for
less
anyone, regardless
communicator.
Right. And for anyone, but you're saying if you're the 5th chakra, you're a communicator, you might just grab whatever's close. Now, can we all blend and some days you're one or some days you're other, or you're born a certain way?
I think that's a great question. We tend to be born a certain way, but the way that I see this happening is as we change in life, if we make a significant change, say we get a job in an accounting firm and we've been an artist. Okay, that's going to require a different chakra, a different set of skills, a different way to approach the world. It's really helpful to sort of adapt to who you are and what you're being. My son, for instance, he's 22 right now. He's a baseball pitcher. He's a very 1st chakra person. That's physical. I think we figured that out. That's adrenals. That's all about, kind of stoking yourself with a lot of protein, lots of food, lots of movement. He's actually starting to make a transition to do more communicating. He's recording a lot of his techniques. He's out there in the world. He's coaching other kids, this and that. And so he's naturally evolving into more of this communicator style. And so I watched him, and of course, I'm his mother, and he interviewed me about what should I be eating now, Mom? And he's made that shift to more electrolytes, mineral-based foods. He's kind of making that shift because he has to support. You could even say he's supporting his future career, which is really going to be much more about coaching and counseling.
Mm-hmm. So in the book, you're going to go in depth, and then by the time you're done, you figure out who I am, which major chakra is working for you?
Yeah. and which one you may also want to supplement with. Say you need to boost something in particular, or you're kind of getting a sense that you need to go a different direction. And so you could even start supporting a new workplace, a new calling, a new way of being by adding in a little bit of that. And there's a great quiz in the book because oftentimes it's like, well, what am I? I don't know what I am. What's a chakra? How do I know what I am as a chakra, kind of person? So there's a quiz, and you can also just Google the internet anywhere and just look up 7 chakras. I actually do 12 in the book just to make it a little more complicated for your life, but helps you get a little more zoomed in on who you might be. You can look up chakra-based personalities on the internet and go, there I am. I am that feeling sponge. Which chakra is that? Second chakra. And if you can't even do it that way, ask a friend, because our friends or people who live with us tend to know who we are even more than we know. And so all my friends would know who I am. My dogs have chakra personalities. One barks all the time. He eats everything. He tried to eat a toy today. Communicator, 5th chakra. The other one is so manipulative, big heart, sidles up to you when you're eating, licks your face, heart-based chakra.
Yeah. So it's fun. I mean, you're laughing about this and it's fun, but you've also worked in the healing field for many years, and you've seen it really help people that if they're struggling with migraines or they're struggling with diabetes, or you've gone to the conventional route and you're like, it's not working for me. Sometimes this type of coming to a more subtle and energy body answer might help people.
I think it works more often than not. And I believe in allopathic standard medicine, but I've seen people with cancers, autoimmune dysfunctions, heart disease. Not that everything always disappears, but it's certainly able to, kind of be mitigated. The impact decreases. Maybe the chemotherapy starts to work because you're supporting yourself in the way that's going to suit who you really are. I remember one client losing 30 pounds in 3 months, just shifting to a 3rd chakra diet and getting the time under control, just saying, hey, I'm not going to really worry about, so much what I'm eating. I'm just going to eat 5 to 6 mini meals a day. 30 pounds in 3 months. And when we get our, kind of our food under control, sometimes our sleep improves, it usually improves, our organ health improves, our hormones improve, autoimmune dysfunctions, which are basically about inflammation, we reduce inflammation in the body. So everything, a doctor will tell you, I think these days, it comes down to inflammation. Inflammation is about stress. One of the best ways to mitigate or deal with your stress is to be eating healthy. It's a medicine. It's truly a medicine.
Absolutely. Food is for sure medicine. But there's so much more. And the book, again, is called Chakras, Food, and You. So thank you, Cindy, for the insightful conversation. And there it is. You can buy this book wherever books are sold. You can also learn more, Cindy, at your website, Cindy Dale. That's C-Y-N-D-I, Dale, D-A-L-E.com. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Just, for all of us, just avoid the Twinkies. There's my last word.
Right. No matter who you are. Okay.
That's right.
All right. You can find this episode on the CURES podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. And also, please subscribe and share with someone you think could benefit. You're watching CURES, where we explore the leading edge of wellness. You'll find more episodes like this right on the Channel 3 streaming news app.